The Art of Seeing, the Art of Remembering. This was a really, really good film. I loved what the filmmakers did with all of the old photographs and how what they decided to do with them. They did this really cool effect with the map at the beginning that I thought was really smart and really intelligent. The interviews with the children, I think, were especially impactful, and it just kind of grabs your attention and it draws you in to the film and learning about all of this. I liked the music. I think they were very strategic in where they placed the music. My only thing was I would have loved to have seen a little bit of music right at the very beginning. It seemed like it needed just a little bit of something for me. But I think that the film's concept was absolutely wonderful, and I think this was beautifully done.
I loved the connection between the elderly and the young on preserving heritage through images by going back and taking negatives from a long time ago and making them pictures that generations can keep to preserve the heritage. I loved the idea of that the art of seeing can be linked to remembering. I loved watching the elderly people light up when they saw these pictures that have been in negatives for so long. It was an amazing thing that was captured on camera because you saw the life and light come back into these old people, especially since we hadn't heard of a war in Armenia around the world, and they had. It's something that's very, very key to watch. And it was amazing to see just the light in these people come back to life just through the art of remembering.
What a wonderful movie, and what a wonderful mission he was on. You know, it's amazing how powerful the a single image is. You know, it's something I think about a lot, and you know, I'm something of an amateur photographer, but so I think about that a lot. So this really spoke to me, and it really mattered to me to see this. You know, the fact that he's on this mission to preserve the memories of these communities that have been rocked by war, that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to focus on, a wonderful mission to have. And, you know, to collect and make these images, you know, it's like each individual picture means something. You know, we get so caught up in, you know, 4K and IMAX and, you know, HDR and all this, and watching, you know, the newest, latest, greatest movies and all this. But really, yeah, what ends up really mattering a lot of the time to us is just sitting and contemplating over a single image, because that's a single memory, it's a single place to go to. It's really beautiful. So thank you for the work that you did here, and for this amazingly wonderful, this movie is made so nicely. So such great footage, such great use of scenery, great seeing all these folks and seeing the creation of these images. It was very, very inspiring. So, you know, good luck in getting this film out there and getting it seen. It's a very important message, and good luck in your continued efforts.
The Art of Seeing, the Art of Remembering. I really enjoyed this. The idea that this journalist would help the Armenian communities archive their photo docs, their memories, their journals, their diaries, their spoken history. It's not something they can do easily on their own. And you could see the excitement in the faces of the elders after they realized how much this was going to mean for their families and their grandchildren, great-grandchildren. This region is not yet stable politically, a small country and surrounded by big, powerful ones. The borders are changing. What a gift that the filmmaker has given the youth. They'll have their family histories, and it'll help form their identities. And they'll care probably a lot more, too, as they grow older. It was really touching and well done.
This film is called The Art of Seeing, the Art of Remembering. This was a lovely, sentimental short. I was intrigued by the concept behind the film. A photographer met with local people in places in Armenia to help them look through photos taken in their communities. This was a brilliant idea to help people celebrate and consider traditions and events, and to try to see the good despite having experienced the pain of war and the constant fear of nearby conflicts. I love the close-up shots of these photos and seeing the delight and pride on the faces of the people in these communities, young and old. Lovely, gentle piano soundtrack under the action, and the photographer/narrator's voice was kind and inquisitive. The cinematography of the area was gorgeous, such as the striking mountains. Great job.
The art of seeing definitely takes a crucial role in the message of preserving history. I feel like that's something we definitely take for granted. The act of the modern day. That being said, that I feel like when you think of today, you don't think much of it. However, if you go 20 years into the future, everything that has not been documented becomes murky, gray, obscured. I think a good example of that is if you start looking back to, uh, for anyone my age, if you look back to the early 2000s, just how much of that, even though a lot of it has been documented, how much of it wasn't. Uh, and that lack of preservation rears its head in now, uh, that we look back at it, but that's 20 years removed now, 20 years of not being in the 2000s. So you go back even further, those are even less memories. That makes it even harder to uh, recall. So I think it makes a very good it definitely has a very good message on preserving history, preserving what was before, because when everyone who was around is no longer there to tell the story, it's lost.
The art of seeing and the art of remembering is a really beautiful approach to honoring the positives of a formerly war-torn part of the world. And I loved that it was focusing on the positives, on the people's memories, their hope, creating this bank of community memories going forward, and being able to use photography and film for this. I think it's a really great celebration of the art form and what it can do. And I really appreciate it as a different approach from the narrative that usually surrounds countries with a history of conflict.